Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, guys. It is Christian with Voyager Nation Super Trucker Podcast, coming to you live 9 a.m. every morning, Monday to Friday, bringing trucking news to owner operators, both owner operators to be and current owner operators looking to improve their situation. All right, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Helps the algorithm get this content in front of the right people, so that they can benefit from the information we're dishing out. All right, getting started right here. I guess everybody. Let me get some caffeine before we jump on. Actually, all right. So I guess everybody has actually been seeing, unless you live under a rock, everything that is going on with this non-domiciled CDL and everything that's taking place. So what we actually did the show about that yesterday, but today's topic is going to be the impact on the rates because of this. So again, not so much focusing on how we got here. The point is we are here. What's about to happen next, and what are some of the things that are going to influence the rates and impact your day to day for those who are not affected by it and are continuing to run. Again, shitty situation, but again, we're here, right? A lot of good people are going to get hurt, and a lot of other people are probably going to benefit from something like this. So the idea behind it is to understand what's actually what's going on and what will happen next. So my people, please like, share, subscribe. It helps the algorithm get this content in front of the right people. And if you are subscribed, smash that bell icon. It will notify you when we drop videos just like this. And we do welcome all kinds of comments. What we do is actually gather all our questions across our social media platforms and address them Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. It's either myself or Mike bringing it to you live. All right. So the first thing we have to understand is basically this is just like any other industry. It's going to be supply and demand. So as thousands of drivers would exit the industry because of something like this, what's going to happen with the rates is naturally go up because you have a reduced capacity and you're going to have brokers scrambling to cover these loads because you're going to have this a heavy amount of people actually exiting the market. There's going to be the spot market is going to benefit obviously because you're going to have fewer trucks chasing those rates. And even though some guys are going to still be able to stay in the game, owner operators are going to gain that leverage and actually see the market, adjust a little bit in our favor. It is long overdue. I'm not saying that we got here the right way. It wasn't my decision. It wasn't, above my pay grade, but the idea is that holy shit, we're here. And chances are, if there's some kind of correction in this market for owner operators who need to see that correction, businesses, it needs to be on the owner operator side. It's been on the broker side for some time. So that's something to look forward to. A little bit of a silver lining in what's happening outside right now. And as we talk about that, uh, there are a couple of other things that I think will also drum up the rates. The rule is they're probably gonna invalidate a lot of CDLs that are out there. Some states are probably gonna do it a lot quicker than others. But even if they don't, even if it's slow moving, I jumped also to that conclusion yesterday where I'm like, is this even going to happen immediately? Is it going to affect the rates like right away, or is this something that's going to take time before people start to, before it starts to roll out? Because the guys who are invalid or have a current temporary, they have an expiration date, and upon that expiration date, they're going to have to get renewed, right? So this process may take some time. However, I did also mention, the other aspect of it. There's cause and effect into everything that we do, and one of the major things is, we have to think about is insurance. Are these guys going to get spooked? Because even if you have a temporary or temporary CDL, what if you become uninsurable? What if the insurance company doesn't actually want to touch you? You have a limited term CDL or it's a non-domiciled. remember, insurance companies are just assessing risk, right? And liabilities and potential things of going wrong. Do they really want to get involved in a situation like this? Are we spooking a lot of those insurance companies outside? And this is an opportunistic business, so I do think there will be some insurance companies that will stay in that fight, but you're gonna have to pay for that. They're gonna know that and that just might actually price you out. So again, do I got anybody out there who, what do you think? Do you think these insurance premiums are going to go up now that they're going to be checking on this? This is that other side of that coin. No one is telling them to do this, but again, it's an opportunistic industry, and here we go. So, are these guys going to be insurable? Are they not? Another thing to do is if they do remain insurable, what are those rates going to look like? I mean, just think about it. One of the sorry guys, hold on one second. One of the actual things that's going on is if you're trying to buy, if you're trying to get an insurance quote in Florida, it already looks different. It already looks different than if you live in any other state, and that's just by geographic right there. So that alone actually makes a difference. So now guys getting insurance within Florida, you live in Lakeland, you live in Miami, that alone right there is going to influence that rate. So these insurance companies can be sensitive to certain topics. So I'm interested to see, like, is that something else that, so now even if the guy gets to keep a CDL for a certain amount of time, I'm hoping that they could still stay. Are they going to stay in the fight? Because what are these insurance companies going to do? Are they actually going to? Are they going to? Are they? Hopefully, nobody's going to get canceled by it. And again, and even if they are getting canceled by it, for those guys who get to remain in the fight, here we go. I just think this industry is that, man. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. We've lost plenty of times. Sometimes it sucks to suck, but plenty of times we've been ended situations unfairly, and we were responsible for other people's actions. So welcome to trucking. That's why this is not you either love it or you don't. It's not a weak man's sport. It's an expensive game to play. And here we go. So guys, put that up in the comments. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on that. Has anybody given it some thought as far as insurance companies and so forth? So I wonder if anybody out there onboarding their guys, have they ran into any kind of issues, or is this a little too early to tell? But that is something to pay attention to. All right. So, another side of it is also going to be the carrier, right? Another side of that is that. So if it does come down to insurance, if it does come down to DOT cracking down, yes, they do have a CDL. Yes, you can onboard them. Yes, all of that good stuff is there. But are carriers going to get spooked? Are certain guys just rather walk away to not be able to not have to deal with answering tough questions during an audit, accidents and kind of liabilities that may happen? Because this stuff kind of hits the social media platforms and gets amplified, as we all know. That's what social media does, obviously. So what kind of reaction are you going to have actual carriers doing once the dust settles a little bit? It's kind of just like everything else, like the SAP program, right? There's a lot of people. How are shippers looking? There's a lot of guys on the SAP program, right? It's an outlet. It's a resource for people to use. It's there. It's managed by DOT. They're saying it's okay if you follow these rules. But even when you do that, a lot of carriers won't touch it and they don't participate. Why? Because of the liability associated to that. It's the liability that comes along with that, because you can be following the rules to the T, but it's until something happens, then you got to stand behind the decision you made. You were simply just adding a guy on who met all the requirements issued by DOT, who met all the requirements issued by the insurance, let's say, and now you're there holding the bag, thinking that everybody's pretending you came up with that idea. So again, here we go, guys. It's all of these things that we have to consider. Some carriers may actually just not want to do some business, And so, even though these guys do get to keep it, here we go. So we do have a comment here. Insurance did not respond yet, but you better believe they will deny during renewal. Here we go. And so guys, that is another way that these guys are going to get, taken off of that being able to work. So even though they do have the CDL, it's valid, it's doing good. What happens next with that? All right, so we got that. We got insurance thinking about, what happens next with the insurance company. We got carriers. Some guys are going to probably get spooked and rather not touch you. Have another comment right here by Mark. Okay, house shippers loading trucks with no name on a CDL license. Um, not actually, not. I haven't seen that exactly. I have seen you have to show a license to the shipper. They want it ahead of time. So those kind of habits are happening already. So you're definitely right. I was actually jumping on into that because brokers as well. Just think about it. The English proficiency test. Nobody wants to get hauled into a liability, and we're spooking these outside factors that nobody was thinking about in the moment of. But just think about that. So even the English proficiency test, there are brokers asking for the phone number of the driver because they want to call, they want to talk to the guy, right? Hey, how you doing? Making sure so nobody's getting rejected and so forth. And their COA, right? They're covering their ass. So whether right, wrong, indifferent, it's not like they should be vigilantes embedding, like managing this for everybody and just kind of helping and all that and headhunting these individuals. But at the same time, they're protecting their business, right? At least in their eyes, they're coming from the point of protecting their business. But now, if that's already happening with that, what's going to happen next? Because to your point, Mark, it's like these brokers, they also want these antiquated, like, out of all the resources that are out there, technology, tracking, highway, they still want a picture of the driver by his truck, DOT, in order to hand you over and tender you that load. So imagine that. So if that's just for that, it's going to be like, hey man, send me a copy of the license. And now they may not even give you that load if it's a limited term and or if it's a non-domicile. They just don't want problems. So they're steering away, and that can potentially affect these guys, even if you're not immediately getting your CDL invalidated, right? And they're revoking it, and you're going to go get it reissued. So what's going to happen as you have limited capacity out there? Boom, rates should be going up. So for those guys who get to stay in the fight, man, we talk about this all the time. Remember, I didn't ask to be here. Nobody asked to be here and get here this way. It's just, we're not talking about that today. It's more about what do you do when you're in it and you get to stay in this fight. So those guys, shitty situation. However, when we talk about what do you do when the rates drop? What do you do when the market slows down? Well, if you're going to see an increase in rates and volume right now because of the drop in capacity, this is the time that you go fight. This is the time that you stack your chips. This is the time that you go out there and you save for those rainy days. This is exactly what we talk about in preparation for those days that we have here. All right, so I got Mike commenting, but what about privacy? You can't share other people's personal info. Yeah, I mean, but if a dispatcher is asking the driver, hey, do you want to send this over or we leave the load? What if the owner op says, send it, I want the load? Now you got permission. I mean, it's not a signed document or nothing like that, but now you have the guy's permission. So there's, and guys, put it up in the comments. Has anybody out there experienced? Has anybody actually not been able to take a load because they wanted something so private as a copy of your CDL, and you just weren't willing to do it? Please let us know in the comments, guys. Do not forget, like, share, subscribe. It helps the algorithm get this in front of the right people. And make sure you hit that bell icon to get notified when we drop videos just like this. All right, so one of this, I got another comment. Yeah, that could be true, guys. Like how many carriers are actually asking, and then that's how we get standing your ground. Like that's how we get in these situations where that sense of unity, because if nobody was sending it over, and trust me, man, like I don't know, I think even if they start asking, and enough people stop sending it over and nobody was sending it, it's gonna probably be a shitty couple weeks, uh but at some point it's gonna hold on one second, guys. My bad. My co-host Luna wanted out. All right. So even that at some point when they're gonna feel that pinch of capacity, I think they're gonna change their tune, right? They're not gonna stay all in unity. Some of these brokers are just gonna bypass that rule and just, they were saying copy the license soon, and then they're probably just gonna ignore it and just get some capacity back on the board. So it's interesting to see what will happen next. Again, that's correct. Voyager says no many times. The only problem is sometimes, like, is everybody saying no? Because then as a unit, then we would have a little bit more strength as carriers if we were all singing the same song. But again, so if these brokers get spooked and they start doing this, and now these guys can't get these loads again, what does that mean? Reduce capacity out in the market, now even though they are CDL holders on the books, and data reflects that they're holders, are they even eligible to get some work? Or are insurance companies, carriers, and actually brokers boxing these people out, and impacting the rates in a positive way? So, let us know in the comments, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Has anybody felt any of this pain just yet, or is it a little too early to tell? Let us know. So again, guys, once again, we are a 100% owner operator based company looking for owner operators who are looking to scale their business and improve their situation. If you find yourself in that situation, please give us a call at 863-342-5171. And if you are an owner operator to be, and you're actually looking to buy that first truck and get the party started on that, and you have tons of questions that no one is answering, you just can't get quite the answers, give us a call, 863-342-5171. We're always here to communicate and give good quality information. Actually, go to Super Trucker Podcast. We got tons of videos that will give you a lot of detail and information, so you have a better understanding of what your process and steps should be to go from purchasing the truck to actually getting it up under a load as quick as possible. That will be the most important part once you're open for business. All right, guys, we're welcome. Any questions, please put them up in the comments. We do answer them here on the show live. And if not, we don't get to them, we obviously answer them the very next day. All right. So anybody else out there, any kind of, what else do you think may happen out there? What kind of cause and effect that nobody's actually paying attention to that actually may come out of left field, and affect these rates? Please let us know in the comments. It's worth talking about so we can plan accordingly, and pay attention to these things. So again, it is about understanding the rules of the game so that you can win at this game. Nobody has to like them, nobody has to agree with them, but let's talk facts. In that way, we can understand that. So I don't know, if you were. Let's talk about that. Is this a good time to buy? Let's say, is this a good time to jump into being an owner operator? Is this that event that you have been waiting for, in order for you to pull the trigger? Or is this spooking you? What would you do? Let us know in the comments. Because everybody is always wondering when's a good time to buy, when's a good time to buy. Is this actually an indicator of rates getting improved? And so should you actually be prepped and buying that truck now so that you're in position when these rates go in your favor? Or do you feel too nervous, and a little too uncertain to do it? Where you guys at? Let me know in the comments, guys. All right. All right, so we also have plenty of questions that come across the board as to how we do this and how we make it happen, right? So one of the benefits as to how have a comment here. Impact rates, are they going up or down? Is these already 2 cents per gallon? uh, I think the rates are going to go up as this starts to unravel. And I mean, you got to roll some dice, right? So you got to be able. Look, we always say the time is now. So if somebody is thinking about buying that truck, my opinion, as the rates go up, we all know that the prices of equipment also follows that, right? Supply and demand. So if you are that guy, are we just there? You're right in the time is now, right in that cusp of like now you should buy before these prices get inflated. So here we go. So again, part of it also is the versatility that our dispatchers offer. Uh, Not being tied to anything one specific, getting this customized dispatch for yourself. It gives you that opportunity to actually flow, and allows your dispatcher to move you to where the rates are going to be premium, right? So that is the beauty about getting dispatched here at Voyager, that you're on the front line to adjust your business to actually chase those loads as soon as we start to see that ripple effect. You get to follow that immediately and start reaping the benefit right away. So if you don't want to be tied to the companies that have you on some kind of dedicated bullshit that you're gonna have to wait for the contract rates to maybe or maybe not go up. Like, you don't want to be in that back seat. You want to be prepared. You want to be front and center in order to reap the benefits of when you see this dramatic rate change, right? And so that, I guess, is the unknown. Is this going to happen overnight? Is this going to happen in a month, in 2 months, and how many weeks will we actually start seeing this? I just say be ready. Hey, good morning, Ernie. How you doing today, brother, man? How's everything? All right, all right. So guys, once again, so if you're looking to be in that center, guys, 863-342-5171, do give us a call. We're on standby. We're ready to rock and roll. And also, if you are a first time owner operator and you see this as the opportunity, shitty situation for a lot of people out there, but again, that's some silver lining for other people in order to make that investment and make that jump. It's just like any other industry, right? It's auto correct, it's correcting itself, and you want to be on the winning side. So plan accordingly to be on that winning side if you can, if it is possible, and if it's within your means. Is this the time to jump, guys? Uh, I got Mike here commenting. Chat GPT says that 10% of the workforce vanish. We will go into an economic shock. Here you go. But you still have to fight a fight. People have to have a chance. So, guys, for those guys who aren't in a company truck, if that economic shock happens, would you rather be, in your truck, controlling that you're out there, controlling that you're running your business, or somebody else steering the ship? That's really what it comes down to. Some people would want somebody else steering the ship. Other people are going to want to have as much control as physically possible, even though you don't control everything. That's the idea behind it, right? What can you do to help the odds? Everybody operates a little bit different. Every mind is a world. It's a matter about knowing your strength. Yeah, trucking immigrants is 25%. So here we go. That's going to be a major hit. How soon do you think before we see some drastic rate changes? I got Miguel Cavita. What's up, brother, man? Thank you always for helping me out with paperwork. Hey, no problem, brother. That's what it's about, supporting each other. You've been in the business for a very long time. Very, very, you do very well. And it's just about that, man. It's about that teamwork, getting the small stuff out of your way so you can focus on the big picture. and just complimenting each other. So, hey, man, Miguel, thank you for everything you do, brother. Ernie got a comment. It's always good time for anyone wanting to start, as long as that person does not have too much overhead that will affect their business. So here we go. That's just called financial literacy, guys. Spend less than you make. Boom. Problem solved. Easy to say, difficult to do. I understand that. We've all been in that position. But even if it's your own business, or you're applying for an internal job, it does, you got to live you got to live within your means. That's just the number one rule. And it is. And if the means isn't enough, then go chase more paper. That's really what it comes down to. But you have to have that financial discipline, and because if you don't develop those habits, right, Ernie, it's the more money you make, you're still the same dude with just more expensive habits, but they're the same anyway. It's never going to be enough. So yeah. And again, I don't know, man. I'm not, we talk about that on our show all the time, kind of shifting a little bit overhead. It's okay to have some overhead. As long as what you're doing, like, so if I generated overhead with a truck, but if it's as long as it's like you're saying, Ernie, exactly, do the math, check it out, but it's okay to have some debt if that debt is going to generate you revenue. Not everything has to be paid in cash, man. Like, I don't think that. I think you got to be reasonable. You actually have to run numbers, but I wouldn't be scared of that. Even like right now, if somebody's buying a truck, and I don't know, you run over a Lone Mountain, drop 5 G's on the table, and get and prepare yourself for what's about to happen, and you reap the benefit. Who cares if there's if you're netting a profit and all that? Who cares that you're paying $1,600 a week? Very different than making an irrational decision to pay $1,100-$1,500 a week. Like, that's just an irrational decision. But yeah, I agree with you as well, Ernie. Like, you have to be able to these guys have to be able to control themselves. You have to do good business practice, and because it all matters, it all comes down to the same rate. Because even if a guy doesn't have that and he's in over his head, desperation sets into an individual. Once he can't make this payment, can't do that, can't do this, and now the only thing we can blame is going to be the rates. And then if it was $5 a mile, I would not be going through this. And then here you go. So you want to do that. You want to be careful of that. And then, you know what? Talking about this, guys, I am interested to see if the down payments have changed on our fellow Lone Mountain truck leasing. Let's see. I wonder if they're making an adjustment. Let me see. Bear with me. One El Segundo here. They only got 5 left for $5,000 down, 7 left in stock for anything with $5,500 down. Volvos are still there, 13. Damn, they got 132 in stock, 2026 T6 KWs, T680s, 9,800 down. So I'm curious to see. Let's keep an eye on this inventory, giving the news that's happening. Maybe we make some kind of correlation here to see, if guys are seeing this as a positive opportunity for those who can step up and become that owner operator. Is this the event? Is this the thing that actually causes some kind of correction in the trucking market for those who can fight the fight to make out with some benefit? So guys, let us know in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe. It helps the algorithm get this content in front of the right people. And again, if you are a first-time owner-operator actually deciding to make the move, do give us a call at 863-342-5171. We offer plenty of resources to help your search as to where to get that first truck. With low barrier, what are the permits? What is the paperwork? Just like we help Miguel, we're willing to help out other good owner operators. So give us a call, 863-342-5171. We got plenty of answers for your questions, and down from insurance, the plates, permits, all that good stuff is what we do best. All right, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments. And again, we are a 100% owner operator based company. So there are no company trucks here to compete with, which means you benefit. We do have transparency as the forefront. That is our number one. We believe that that is the foundation, the foundation of a true partnership. So you're getting the original rate confirmations. As a matter of fact, they'll forward you the email from wherever we're booking the load with the customers. That is so that you see exactly what time it is. You got a pulse on the market. The relationship between you and your dispatcher is going to be one of the most important pieces to your operation. So, in even times like this, you have to have that dispatcher who can leverage this, find the positive, that silver lining that we talk about, and use that as a tactic to take more money from a broker, which means more money in your pocket. Your dispatcher needs to be a savage-like individual, but he's fighting for you. He's fighting to put as much money as he can on the books for your business. So, that's what your experience should be like. Again, we provide quality trailers. They are top of the line. So that you're not being rejected for those trailers. You're not being rejected because you have a rust bucket. We have a trailer mechanic who is on site, and that individual is taking care of those trailers to ensure they're in premium condition for you to never get rejected at a shipper. And then the plan, and then your weekly plan goes to shit, right? It's all about forward thinking. It's, in trucking, it's kind of typical, man. It's the same problems over and over and over again, as we always say, and we're solving them over and over again. So why not be proactive and align ourselves in a position where we don't have to suffer from the same problems. We're actually addressing them in the processes and the culture we live here and so forth. Good morning. What areas do your driver mostly run? It's all over the map. We only have one. We have the one golden rule. It's I don't touch California, and we don't touch Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan. Like, so nothing on the island. So nothing on the borough. It just depends on what's trending, where the market, where the rates are. Our guys do give. They have a really good relationship with their dispatchers to allow them the freedom to kind of scout the market and where to run, and just chase that dollar. They're interested in growth. They have gross revenue goals on a weekly basis that our guys want to hit and have to hit. And that's their hyper focus. Most of the time is just like, fuck that. Make sure I gross that 7,500. Make sure, they have a goal, and that's what they're focusing on. I do have, though, Timothy, I do have guys that, like to keep it tight and do that Southeast regional. That's cool. We could definitely do that. We can keep guys to whatever market they want to be, as long as it's not overly restricted. And, as a business owner, it's, those decisions come at a price, but it doesn't matter to us. We will max out and make as much money as possible within the region you want us to run, and we make it happen. And again, as long as it doesn't be over restrictive, not a problem. So we got customized dispatch for everybody. So do give us a call at 863-342-5171. We're always here to help and find out. And as a matter of fact, if you are in this local area, Lakeland, Florida, the mecca of trucking, stop by 9 to 4. Feel free to stop by. Plenty of parking in the back. Truck and trailer, no problem. You come inside. We'll look at some sample settlement sheets of what guys are running in these last 3 weeks. In addition to that, you get to meet the dispatcher, have a one-on-one. And for those guys who are actually have experience, you can look at a settlement sheet and you can determine so much information from that settlement sheet that in itself is an interview. Right? If you know how to digest it, you know right away if there are any hidden fees. You're gonna know right away what the rates look like. You're gonna know what the fuel discounts look like and what kind of deductions there. So that's why we do that. I think it's a tremendous value for those who want to take advantage of it and invest some time into coming into the terminal and doing that. So again, what more transparent than that, right? So you get to assess. Look at the top earners. You know exactly how you run. You know how many miles you're good for and all that good stuff. And now you can make that fair assessment as to where you're going to land on that hierarchy of earners, right? So here we go, guys. Because I do all. I do guys who don't leave Florida. I got guys who just stretch out, real tight and come back every weekend. I got guys who will hit PA and come back for the weekend. I got guys who stay out 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. So it's really just a tremendous mix of owner operators with different needs. And the one thing I can tell you is that the dispatchers are here to hit, and they're here to customize that dispatch around that individual. So as long as it's within the parameters of what you're looking for, the goal, right? So these dispatchers are not yes sir, yes people. They are going to ask what's your financial goal and give you a suggestion what it will take to hit those goals. All right. Hey David, good morning. How you doing, sir? How's everything? All right, guys. So guys, let me know. Give us some feedback. Has anybody seen anything happen with your with booking loads? Have you had to flash your CDL recently in these last few days? People looking for non-domiciled or a limited a temporary one. Let us know in the comments, and we will see where this will take us. In addition, we were talking about, guys, the side effects of this, something that maybe nobody is calculating it while everybody's busy looking at the big neon lights and the headlines about, the immigration kind of part of it and what documents you need and not need. Are we spooking insurance companies? Are we spooking the brokers? What kind of requirements are they going to come up with and make it that much more challenging for these individuals to actually get these loads? So that we're talking about the other side of that coin. What things are we going to expect from insurance companies? Are the premiums going to go up? Are they just going to start dropping people? And even for that guy who's getting started and thinking about buying his first truck, that might be a good place to start, making sure you're insurable, and start getting a couple quotes. You don't have to accept it, but you're kind of testing the waters, right? You're dipping the toe in to make sure the water's warm. So you definitely want to pay attention to that. I just don't know how quick this is going to start. Give me one second here. Sorry. I just don't know how quick that is going to start, but I'm sure something's going to happen. So even if a license can say, expires in freaking 2030, but again, because it is not, whatever the case may be, if he no longer, he no longer can carry that CDL in a valid way because it got revoked, you're gonna have some major issues. All right, so once again, guys, we even got the fuel cards available for those owner operators looking for transparency. We push 100% of the fuel savings right along to the owner operator. That's why I say it all the time. Download those apps, pay attention. It will help your bottom line. So it's everything encompassed together. If we, once we start experiencing these rate hikes and that, continue the fuel saving search, continue being, disciplined on that. Don't let up. Everything matters, guys. This is a penny business. So increased rates should mean also looking at the fuel, also saving, because now you have that compounded effect that will help your bottom line. So do not let up on that. I see that time and time again where, rates get in the favor of that owner operator. And then all of a sudden, you start to, you're not as diligent as looking at those fuel savings. You're not as, because there's enough to go around. And then now all of a sudden you're leaving money on the table. So guys, don't let that happen to you. Pay attention to the bottom line. It's so important to your business. I got a comment here. Imagine hiring non-domiciled CDL driver and getting into a fender bender with an ambulance chaser. What's that going to do to the company and lawyers of the world? It's going to come after you. Yeah, because that's the other side of it, guys. I get it. People who are in this situation don't want to think that far in advance because that's not a problem that's not a problem on their lap right now. They're just trying to ensure that they can continue running their business. This can potentially this is a problem. This is a major problem. That's why we were talking about carriers, like those carriers who are going to get spooked. And those carriers get spooked for this reason alone. You're following all the rules and everything properly through the channels, but unfortunately for those ambulance chasers, that still is not enough. And it's almost like, man, I didn't want to really dip into that, but like, even if you see, for example, even if you see that dude that did that U-turn, right? That shit got plastered all over social media. It's an unfortunate situation. Like, nobody even wishes that ever happened, but then we're in it, and then all of a sudden they show that he was pulled over, had a speeding ticket, and then the cop let him go. But they didn't hyper focus on the cop that let him go, right? The carrier's still the bad guy, but the cop had a contribution. He let him go. He couldn't talk to him in English. And so nobody talks about the common shit, right? Like, unfortunately, that cop is not going to get pulled in and be part of that lawsuit. Where's his accountability? So it always goes to Mike's point, man. It's these ambulance chasers, it's these lawyers, guys. Trucking, that's the ugly side of that. Trucking, we're responsible for other people's information. So here we go. Hold on a second. Let me check something here. All right. So, all right. All right. So we got a comment here. All right. Let me get this bad boy right here. All right. So forgive me, give me 1 second here. All right. So here's the comment. If you put a non-CDL driver behind the wheel and they clip a Prius or worse, tangle someone who knows who entangle with somebody who knows personal injury law on speed dial, you're cooked. The lawyer isn't just coming for the driver. They're coming for the carrier, the insurance, and anyone with the bank account attached. Yes. And then that is exactly the top three things that we were talking about: insurance, broker, and carrier. Those are going to be on the top. The driver doesn't have enough of what they want. They're going for the bank accounts and the deep pockets. They're gonna argue unqualified driver. Why did someone without a permanent U.S. residency have a CDL? They're not really gonna care that it's the state's fault. They're not really gonna care that there were loopholes, that the state was not following procedures and all of that. They're just going to care that carrier put them on to their fleet because they're money hungry, and the insurance allowed it, and the broker didn't give a shit either and was tendering over loads. That will be the hyper focus, and that is that is the cause. So negligence, FMCSAs weren't properly met. Yeah, no one's going to yank in FMCSA, and DOT is not going to be part of that suit. It's just, they're going to simply say it was to your discretion what you deem reasonable, and now that's their way out. Deep pockets will be the target. This company knew, and they should have known that they were putting a public risk. Yes, so none of that changes. That is real tomorrow. That is real today. That was real yesterday. We talk about it all the times. The PSP. So now imagine a PSP looks like shit. An MVR looks pretty shitty. Plus, it's a temporary license, or it is a non-domiciled CDL. You are in a world of hurt. So this is what I'm talking about. That's what the show is. Absolutely correct. It's going to spook a lot of people and draw attention to the wrong, like these ambulance chasers, right? That ambulance chaser doesn't care if the accident was a mirror scrape at Walmart. They'll spin it to unsafe immigrant driver hired by greedy trucking company. In front of a jury. Your insurance premiums skyrocket, lawsuits pile up, reputation tanks. Bottom line, hiring non-domiciled CDL driver is likely taping dollar bills to the trucks, and inviting lawyers to chase them down on the freeway. So yeah, that is what's going to spook a lot of people, guys. But again, because that's happening, Even if these guys do get to keep that license for a little bit, what happens to the capacity now because of other liability factors that isn't written anywhere but is just understood for those people who are responsible for these outcomes and who are hauled into those courtrooms, who are forced to lawyer up because of this, who deal with insurance renewals, who deal with the loss runs, who deal with the depositions and all of that comes the other side of trucking. uh, they will put a stop on that because nobody wants to be in this position to potentially lose everything. So I wonder how fast this is going to catch up to us. I wonder how fast before we actually start seeing these rates, because a lot of people will be exiting this industry even though not just by the new regulation, but because insurance is going to say no. Brokers are going to stop taking loads. That is what this is about, guys. So once again, this will affect the rates, my people. Please like, share, subscribe, share this content with fellow owner operators, and like the content. It helps the algorithm get this in front of the right people. And if you are a first time owner operator, hey, is this spooking you? Do you have more questions? Or do you see this as an opportunity in order for you to enter the market as others are exiting? All right, let's check this out. Can you also use fuel discounts like Mudflap, or it has to be only with your fuel card? So Ernie, our fuel, sorry to jump off topic real quick, guys. Want to get this answered. So no, we give you two different fuel cards, and they're going to tell you what the savings are on there. You want to be within network, and then that's the benefit of it. So it's tailored to ours. But I'm pretty sure if you opened up Mudflap and compared it to one of ours, we're probably, just I'm pretty sure we're stronger. But again, it's always about comparing and seeing which one is better. I got another comment. That's what screwed everything up. Yeah, for sure. Like, that's what we're saying. Like, this is a very real part of trucking. Um, that a lot of, let's say, for my first time owner operators that are out there, there are a lot of guys who have done some damage, quit the company and go. And because they were not responsible for this part, they think this is a myth because it's never happened to them. Right. Let's say they did some, bad inspections and an accident, and the guy moved on, and he wasn't there at the insurance renewal. He wasn't there helping answer the big questions to the insurance companies and so forth. And so because they're not privy to that, it's not decisions that they're making. They actually just think that this is a myth, and this is just everybody talking bullshit. But no, this happens on the daily. This is where the majority of insurance is. If not, I know fuel is expensive, man, but insurance is like right up there. And that'll make or break your business. Without insurance, it's over. You have nothing. So guys, you have to protect this at all costs. So even we're coming into interesting times. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So once again, if you're thinking about purchasing your first truck, is this a good time? Is this choppy waters? A little bit too choppy for some people, but the time is always now. So what would you do? I know what I do. I'd roll dice. But again, your return on investment is going to be on how much risk you're willing to take. But if you believe in yourself and what you can do and bring to the table, you should be all right. So do I have any more comments, my people, questions, anything that we can answer here live on the show? Please let us know. Put them up in the comments. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, smash that bell icon. You get notified when we drop videos. They come out daily after 5, Monday to Friday. All right, so here we go. Let me see here. Yeah, I know. Alrighty, man. Trucking is a tough business, man. It is definitely not for the weak. All right, so I got Michael here saying, I don't mind as long as the Eagles can't work. I remember 20 years ago when my uncle, who drove for BFI for 20 years, was laid off because they instituted the CDL and started letting illegals in. Yeah. So there you go. And that was that's one of the toughest parts, man. Is that like it's our regulations that allow that, right? So we're only here because some people, not all people are bad, man, but like, we're not solving all these just major safety issues. There are plenty of legal people here that are unsafe, right? So if we think accidents are going to go down just by the swing of this wand, I don't think that that's necessarily true. What kind of data do we have to look at, right? So there's probably a lot of safe drivers getting pulled off the streets, right? So it's just that. But again, it's regulations that started it that were implemented. So it's just the individual filling out the paperwork is just using a resource that's allocated to them, right? So they're just opportunistic, just like anybody else. Like if anybody here sees a broker squirming because there's a load that his driver fell off, and you could take him for 425 a mile on 1,000 miles, you would fucking do that. I would fucking do that because it's an opportunity. They don't view it the same. So I just say, like, when resources and loopholes are created across these industries, the people who are taking advantage of it at that moment, it's because it's there. It's because it's available. It's just that, you know what I mean? So again, guys, like, yeah, here you go. A guy from 20 years ago felt the pain, and here we go. So again, this is about capacity that's out there, this getting corrected, and the other side of that coin. Again, this isn't a political show or none of that, but economy in itself. Those people that are generating, take those jobs, generate revenue, purchase things, so that it has a totality effect. It's not just this. It's you know purchases. It's money being spent. It's the economy. It's just kind of how we said in the comment below. You eliminate 10-15% of the workforce like that. What kind of effect does that have the economy? So just impacts of cause and effect, right? That's what it is. So again, nobody has to like the rules. I didn't create them, nothing like that. We're just here to talk about what can happen, what the other side of it, right? While we're busy screaming about one thing, what is also happening behind the scenes? What other things are being affected other than just taking these licenses away and giving and eliminating these programs? So here we go, guys. But for those who can stay in the fight, that's what we talk about. Stay in that fight. And who knows, man? Like, that's what happens. Like, who knows? 5 years from now, technology eliminating something else later on, and it'll eliminate another portion of us who are out there, because technology is going to take that from us, and now you don't need that. And so this is an evolving game. You got to remain adaptable. If you get to stay into the fight, then make sure that shit counts. Make sure that you're out there reaping the benefits, stacking your chips, taking advantage of the market when it's in your favor, because it will turn. It's just a matter of time. So this is where you pay attention. This is where you get out there and run. This is where you are prepped for that. So get that maintenance up on the truck. You don't want these rates to go up, and now all of a sudden you're waiting on a turbo because you were letting that slide, or a dumbass sensor or something like that. Be prepared. Fight the fight. Go earn. And so here we go, guys. All right. Any more comments? It is creeping up to that time. Got to get to my day job. So here we go, guys. All right. So on that note, my people, again, okay. No, Ernie, don't haul any hazmat, brother, man. We keep it simple. Keep it simple, man. 100% owner operator base. We keep it simple. We do drive and non-hazmat. I'm sure. I don't know if you, Mike. We hate hazmat. We have a story for that. Actually, we probably have a video out there, man. It's a painful one, but here you go. That is one of the times that we had to embrace the suck. We were given a shitty ass situation that we were forced to deal with. It was not our fault. And we'll keep that we'll keep, we have a video for that. We'll send you the link or something like that. So yeah. So guys, again, like, let's pay attention. Let's see what actually will happen next. What are insurance companies going to do? What is their next move? Are these guys going to remain insurable or not? What are carriers going to do? Are carriers going to stray away from hiring these kind of individuals? What is, a byproduct of this new ruling that nobody is talking about? And again, what are brokers going to do? What kind of crazy ass requirements are they going to do? Leighton, what state do we run? It's easier to tell you what I don't run. Cali, so no California, and we don't touch Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, so nothing on that island. Other than that, everything is pretty much fair game. Depending on how you run your business, we go ahead and we get that done. 863-342-5171. Give us a call. Get all the details from the recruiter. We're on standby. All right, guys. So that is what's going to be happening next, guys. Let's all be on standby. Let's see what the brokers are doing. Let's see what insurance companies are going to say. Let's see what carriers are going to be doing, what kind of habits and requirements they're going to have going forward. So guys, if you hear something, let us know so we can share that information with fellow owner operators. That's what this channel is about, putting information in front of people so that we can learn from each other and actually everybody gets to advance their business a little bit further. So let's stay out there. Let's stay safe, keep earning. And again, if you're looking for that opportunity, it is 863-342-5171. If you're a current owner operator or you're looking to buy that truck, give us a call, 863-342-5171. All right, my people, stay safe, stay blessed. We will talk to you tomorrow.